Going on, everybody? So this is obviously the Uncharted 4 gameplay demo that we saw at E3, and a couple people asked me to do like an analysis breakdown video of the game, so I thought, why not? Let's do it. So the first thing you might notice is before Nate and Sully open the door is, you know, how Naughty Dog try to set the atmosphere on the screen with the particle and dust effects, and obviously throughout the whole demo it's just debris. And you know, the physics are just going crazy everywhere. So here we have Nate and Sully. Look at the if you look at the facial design of Drake and Sully, it's really good. You can see the wrinkles on their face, the definitions. You know, it looks like they have actual skin textures. Doesn't look like their faces are just flattened or anything like that. It's real defined. Sully looks, and it makes Sully look hella old. I don't know how. And look at the crowd density. I think that's something you definitely have to notice. Yeah, the game is running at, we know it's going to be 1080p 30 frames per second, but that's impressive crowd density. That's probably something you probably wouldn't see much of on the PS3. So they're utilizing a little bit of power there. So here comes the gunfight, and this is where you're going to see the particle effects. All of the items in the game you can see they have their own hitboxes. Look at, and this is the stuff you got to pay a lot of close attention and notice the attention to detail, because a lot of people would just skim over that, right? You notice the bullet holes, in sense exactly where the bullets hit is where exactly the destructible environment is chipping off from. If you went back a little bit, you can see all of these items are not static. They have their own hitboxes. So when the table kind of bent in half a few scenes ago, you saw the bottle rolling, right? So everything is like, it's very live. It's a live environment. And there is the big part right there. We're gonna stop that right there and look at that. Drake goes around Sully when they are attached to cover. Now, to the average gamer, the casual gamer, they wouldn't notice that twice. They wouldn't double take at that. To a gamer that pays attention to detail, that is a big deal, because usually in third-person shooters what happens is you either clip through the NPC, you bump into them, you have to get off cover, but you usually don't see that animation where your character is able to just naturally go around the NPC. I bet you can't find 3 games that do that. I bet you might not even be able to find 2. I can't think of 2. But that is a big deal right there. That's Naughty Dog paying attention, you know, giving a lot of detail to the game, making movement more natural. So let's keep it going. He's gonna run over here, slide over the environment real smooth like. He's gonna move over to these sandbags, and of course when the sandbags start taking bullet holes, you're gonna see them deflate. And the physics within these sandbags are really good, because they actually deflate realistically. The more bullets they took, the more they deflated slowly. So that just looks great. He's gonna punch this guy back into the this little wooden wall, and it's actually gonna take damage. Of course, this isn't realistic. That would never happen in real life. But it's Uncharted. It's a little dramatic and, you know, cinematic and everything like that. But so we know everything isn't based in realism. And it actually looked like Drake was running up those steps. Gonna put it in slow motion a couple times. Yep, step, step, step. Yeah, it looks like each step he took actually landed on a step. In a lot of games, what'll happen is you'll just see the characters glide up the steps. They're not actually stepping on each step. It's just like a flat, slanted texture. The character doesn't actually interact with it, and the steps don't have their own existence pretty much. Another thing I wanted to point out is notice how you can see like all the characters actually look like they're wearing clothes, not like the clothes are like glued to their skin or is just one clothing texture. Like look at the wrinkles on the guy's shirt. You can tell he's wearing the shirt. It's not attached to his skin. That's a big deal actually. When they move sometimes, I believe you can actually see their clothes move also. And once again, this is not something I'm pointing out like Uncharted is the first to do it or the only to do it. It's just that there's not many games that do all of these things together and pay this much attention to detail on every little thing. That's what I'm saying. There's not a lot of games that do all of it. And he uppercuts him right through that. Nice. Honestly, I think the biggest parts of like emphasis where I wanted to point out about this. It probably passed, but we're gonna, you know, keep watching, because the rest is really just this driving scene, and I haven't actually watched the extended demo for this yet. But the game is beautiful, right? I still need to watch the extended part. I could have seen it at E3, but I wasn't gonna stand online for it. The game is beautiful. A lot of people like to compare Uncharted graphics, but to a lot of other games, and claim other games look better. But the thing about Uncharted is its diversity and variety in environments it goes to. There are not a lot of games that do that. Usually they kind of keep you in the same environment throughout the whole game, sometimes throughout the whole franchise. The Uncharted game has explored many different environments. We know in Uncharted 3, the whole desert theme, they explored, you know, the desert and sand and everything like that, and made it look very good. Uncharted 2, there was a lot of snow. The water interaction and the water physics look very good. They've been to jungles, snowy areas, deserts, or some urban areas. They've explored a lot of different areas in Uncharted, whereas a lot of other games, and look at the detail. It's not like it's just a running like one of those cartoon effects where you see just a repetitive building cycle. No, these are actual individual buildings that all look different. There's no repetitive scenes. Look through that whole thing and tell me if you see one building that's exactly identical to another, unless it's supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe two buildings right next to each other might look the same, but you're not gonna drive down into another area and see a house that looks exactly the same as when you were up the hill. It looks like an authentic city or town. Like the way it's built and the way it's structured in the world, it looks authentic. So, I mean, yeah. I don't know exactly what else to say. This driving scene is pretty much what you would expect. It's gonna be they just have to make sure they have this game at 30 frames locked. Even right there, how it just really just went up and down on the cars and everything like that. Naughty Dog is just the best at what they do, man. And this is not sucking them off or anything like that, because y'all know I'll get on Naughty Dog in a second. I have no problem with that. Get on them in a second. The game has good draw distance, good anti-aliasing. You're not going to see any jaggies. So you can see the cars interacting with the water realistically. Obviously, let me see. I'm trying to like see the wheels and everything. It looks like it's leaving some tire tracks, and some games the cars just kind of glide over the ground. And obviously Uncharted isn't the most realistic. I don't expect them to have the most realistic driving physics or anything like that, but it looks pretty solid. And he's about to get his Indiana Jones on. And yeah, this is just my analysis of the things that really stood out to me that I wanted to emphasize. But there's probably a lot of things I missed there that are really just great small details that if you looked a little bit harder, probably some of you can point them out. So let me know what y'all think. Peace.